Right now, everything depends on it. Your phone, your bank, your fridge. You barely notice it until it's gone. Look around your home right now. Lights on, streaming, a speaker listening. Every device wired to one thing. The internet. Invisible. Everywhere. Assumed. So what happens if it stops? Not for an hour. For a year. Quick favor. Hit like and subscribe. Drop a comment too, it helps. Now imagine it vanishes everywhere. Not a glitch. Not a short outage. Gone. For an entire year, straight. This isn't about losing cat videos. It's about something you assumed was unbreakable. How fragile is that thing? You'll watch it unfold, hour by hour. A real country that lived this. And a strange twist in how it began. Hour 1, you try to pay for coffee. Card declined. Tap to pay. Nothing happens. Most of today's money is data. No signal means no transactions anywhere at all. ATMs freeze mid-withdrawal, screens flickering blank. Cashiers shrug. Registers won't connect. You have cash somewhere, do you? Most people today don't carry cash. The very first hour feels strange. Meanwhile, an office across town grinds to a halt. Every single tool this office uses lives online. Email, spreadsheets, the entire payroll system. A spinning wheel now. Nothing loads. Nobody planned for this scenario. A manager stares at a frozen screen. Coworkers start passing paper notes instead now. It's oddly quiet without notification pings anymore. Work doesn't stop. It changes shape. Across the city, a hospital scrambles to adjust. Patient records? Stored up in the cloud. Doctors can't pull up your medical history. Some hospital equipment needs a network signal. Staff dig out old paper charts, fast. Nurses start writing everything by hand again. It's slower now, but the care continues. Hospitals built backups for exactly this. Everyone on staff feels the strain. Across town, a classroom goes quiet. No video call, no shared homework link. The teacher pulls out an old textbook instead. Remote workers stare blankly at frozen dashboards. Video calls freeze, then disconnect. Some workers head to the office instead. Others can't get any work done. Kids adapt faster than the adults. Chalk and paper, relevant again. Trucks sit idle at a shipping depot. GPS tracking, dark right now. Drivers don't know where to deliver. Warehouses can't confirm a single order. Planes fly on backup systems. Ports slow down to a careful crawl. Everything physical needs the digital. Nobody expected logistics to be this fragile. Here's something most people don't know. The internet isn't floating in the sky. It runs through cables, actual undersea cables. Thin lines resting on the ocean floor. Nearly all intercontinental traffic flows through these. Somewhere between 95 and 99%. A small number of cables, total. Damage a few, and whole regions go dark. This is the fragile backbone, hidden. You never see it, yet you depend on it. This happened. A real event, 2008. Cables snapped in the Mediterranean Sea that year. Internet across the Middle East went dark. Parts of South Asia too, for days. A small handful of broken cables. Real chaos. So that fear from the intro? Confirmed. The backbone is that thin. Now picture that, but everywhere, all at once. A full year this time, not days. So what happens, hour after hour? Day 1 turns into day 3. Grocery store shelves start looking sparse. Most stores stock only about 3 days' worth. It's called in-time delivery for a reason. No orders going in, no trucks moving out. Shelves empty out faster than anyone expected. People start buying far more than they need. Panic buying spreads, without real panic yet. Scarcity spreads faster than the outage itself did. Cash, and becomes king again. People dig through old drawers for bills. Coins matter again, for the first time in years. Small shops start posting handwritten IOU notes. Bartering makes a small, surprising comeback. Trust between neighbors becomes an actual currency. A loaf of bread, traded for some firewood. Strange, sure, but also oddly human, too. Money, it turns out, reveals what it always was. Somewhere, a dusty old radio gets dusted off. AM signals travel through open air. No internet needed for that at all. Landline phones, forgotten in a drawer, return. A rotary phone becomes the family hero. Neighbors gather around one single working radio. News travels slower now, but it travels. Old technology, it seems, never disappeared. It waited patiently for this moment. By day 5, real tension becomes visible. Lines form outside the pharmacy before dawn. Bottled water, batteries, canned food, gone. A father counts his remaining supplies twice. Not everyone stays calm, understandably, under pressure. Most people, though, keep it together. Community groups start organizing supplies by hand. Paper flyers now cover every single lamppost. By the end of week 1, patterns form. Someone becomes the neighborhood's radio expert. Kids start trading physical comic books again. A simple corkboard replaces the old group chat. People remember how to write actual letters again. Slower, yes. A bit clumsier, but it works. Humans adapt faster than you might think. But this has all happened before. January 2011. A real, documented case study. Egypt's government cut national internet access then. Almost. For about 5 days. Not a hypothetical this time. This happened. The focus here is on infrastructure effects. Not politics. What factually happened? How banks, businesses, daily life responded. A real-world preview of your imagined year 1. Here's what the historical record shows. Banks struggled to process basic transactions. Businesses relying on online systems froze. Trading and everyday commerce slowed down sharply. Some companies lost several days of normal operations. ATMs sat dark in the middle of city centers. Import and export paperwork quickly backed up. Tourism, delicate, took a noticeable hit too. The overall economic cost added up quickly. Infrastructure built for constant connection disconnected. But people didn't freeze in place. Word of mouth became the new network. Printed newspapers sold out within hours. Neighbors calmly shared news door to door. Radio stations became a trusted source once again. Within about 5 days, full access returned. So that's what happens, hour by hour. A real country, and a real, documented answer. And here's the strange part left. The internet was built to survive exactly this. Now stretch this whole scenario out for months. Cash stays dominant. Paper ledgers return now. Businesses slowly rebuild entire manual record-keeping systems. Accountants relearn skills their own grandparents once used. Filing cabinets replace old cloud storage now. Inefficient, sure, but it functions. Every single receipt now exists only on paper. Offices start to smell like ink and dust. The old systems, dusted off, work. Local networks become essential infrastructure. Small towns start building their own bulletin systems. Ham radio operators become minor local celebrities. A town hall posts fresh news updates daily. Loudspeakers announce the day's headlines in the square. Community radio fills the silence, and warmly. People start knowing their neighbors' names again. Distance, and starts to matter again. Local, once considered boring, becomes essential. Some cities set up physical trading posts. A repurposed library becomes a bustling information hub. Volunteers relay written messages between distant towns. Old-style couriers on bicycles reappear, useful again. Schools reopen, now using printed lesson packets. Local newspapers hire on new staff again. Ingenuity fills in every gap it can. None of it is efficient, all of it necessary. Humans, it turns out, improvise rather well. Meanwhile, the overall economic toll keeps climbing steadily. Estimates suggest billions lost daily, worldwide. Global trade slows down to a careful crawl. Entire industries pause operations or shrink sharply now. Yet life doesn't grind to a stop. People find clever workarounds nobody predicted. New small local businesses start springing up. Resourcefulness becomes this whole year's defining trait. Painful, yes, but not the end. Now here's that strange twist, as promised. Meet the Internet's original blueprint, decades ago. One of its key architects, Vint Cerf. Vint Cerf helped design TCP/IP itself. That's the Internet's basic communication language. He built it decentralized, deliberately, on purpose. No single point could ever bring it down. Every node could route around any damage. Built, from day one, to survive failure. Think of it like a giant spiderweb. Cut one single strand, the rest holds. That was the entire founding idea. Resilience, baked into the architecture itself. No single government, no company, in control. A beautifully stubborn design, built to endure. For decades, it worked exactly that way. Then, something started to shift. Convenience slowly began changing the whole picture. Today, a small handful of companies host everything. Massive cloud providers, a few names. Huge chunks of the entire web depend on them. That decentralized dream? Now partly centralized again. Remember 2021, when Facebook and Instagram both vanished. One company's outage felt worldwide, almost instantly. A small preview of centralized fragility. So the irony lands here, doesn't it? Built to survive collapse, then re-centralized anyway. That's the strange twist, now revealed. So picture that cozy living room once more. Phones, speakers, screens, all connected together. Remember how this whole journey started? This was never about losing cat videos. It was about invisible infrastructure everywhere. Cables under oceans, a small handful of companies. Something built unbreakable, made fragile by simple convenience. Right now, everything depends on it. Maybe now, you'll notice it a little more. Assumed unbreakable, more fragile than you thought.